Hello, and welcome to this webinar presentation by Global CPD, Teacher Training Services. This presentation is on elevating primary English education through innovative approaches, specifically designed for primary English teachers working in English medium instruction schools around the world. In the rapidly evolving landscape of education, it's crucial for educators to stay abreast of the most effective teaching techniques and methods. This webinar aims to equip you with practical, innovative, and research-backed strategies that you can immediately implement in your classroom settings. As professionals committed to fostering meaningful learning experiences for young students, we recognize the need for pedagogical approaches that are both theoretically sound and practically feasible. That's why the content of this webinar is carefully structured around three cornerstone principles that have proven to be game changers in primary English education: backward design, content and language integrated learning, and the use of authentic materials and real-world contexts. Backward design emphasizes the significance of outcome-based planning. We'll delve into how to set achievable, focused objectives and how to align your assessments and teaching methods with these goals. CLIL is not merely a trend, but a compelling instructional approach that merges language competencies with subject matter education. We'll explore ways to create symbiotic relationships between content and language, thereby amplifying the efficacy of your lessons. Authentic materials and real-world contexts offer powerful vehicles for engagement and relevance. You'll learn how to skillfully incorporate these into your lesson plans to make learning more relatable and impactful for your students. Through a combination of theoretical knowledge and practical classroom ideas, including example procedures for you to consider, you'll leave this webinar empowered with a toolkit of strategies to make your English lessons more effective and engaging for your primary students. So let's embark on this educational journey to refine our teaching practices and enrich the lives of our young learners. 1. Backward design. Let's delve deeper into the concept of backward design and its practical implementation in planning effective lessons for primary students. Backward design is a powerful educational framework that prioritizes starting with clear learning objectives and aligning all instructional activities, materials, and assessments towards achieving those objectives. Here, we'll expand on the principles and provide further examples for a comprehensive understanding. 1.1 Backward Design Overview. Backward design is a pedagogical approach that inverts the traditional lesson planning process. Instead of beginning with activities and materials, it starts with the end in mind, the desired learning outcomes. In this model, educators meticulously plan each step to ensure that students not only meet, but excel in achieving the intended objectives. Practical idea 1. Start with clear learning objectives. For instance, consider the learning objective. Students will be able to identify and use past tense verbs in a sentence. This objective is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, often referred to as SMART criteria. 1.2. The backward design procedure. To effectively implement backward design, follow these procedural steps. Step 1. Identify the learning objective. Begin by defining clear and specific learning objectives, ensuring they meet the SMART criteria. Step 2. Develop assessment methods. Next, create assessments or rubrics that will measure students' attainment of the objectives. In our example, you might design quizzes, writing tasks, or spoken activities that assess the use of past tense verbs. Step 3. Plan preparation activities. Design activities and instructional strategies that will prepare students for the assessments. These activities should align with the objectives and build the necessary skills and knowledge. Step 4. Teach the lesson. Implement the planned activities in the classroom. Engage students in active learning experiences that support the learning objectives. Step 5. Conduct the assessment. Administer the assessments you developed in Step 2. Assess students' performance and understanding in relation to the objectives. Step 6. Reflect and adjust. Reflect on the results of the assessment. Analyze student performance and adjust your teaching strategies or materials as needed to address any gaps or challenges. 1.3. The importance of alignment. Alignment is a key aspect of backward design. It ensures that every component of the lesson plan, including activities, materials, and assessments, works in harmony to facilitate the desired student outcomes. To achieve alignment, practical idea. 3. Use a lesson plan template. Create or choose a lesson plan template that explicitly connects activities and materials back to the learning objectives. This template should include a column for alignment with objectives. Continually reference this column to ensure that everything directly supports the learning objectives. In summary, backward design is a strategic approach to lesson planning that puts the focus squarely on the desired learning outcomes. By meticulously following the steps and ensuring alignment with objectives, educators can create engaging and effective lessons that empower primary students to achieve their full potential. This methodology empowers teachers to drive student success by design, rather than by chance. Now take your time and examine the steps of backward design model. Now, let's explore CLIL, Content and Language Integrated Learning further, understanding its benefits and providing practical examples for primary students. CLIL is a pedagogical approach that combines subject content and language instruction, offering simultaneous reinforcement of both aspects. Here, we'll expand on the concept and provide additional examples for a more comprehensive understanding. 2.1. CLIL Overview. CLIL is an innovative educational approach that integrates subject content with language instruction. By doing so, it provides primary students with a rich, multidisciplinary learning environment that enhances their understanding of both the subject matter and the language in which it's taught. Practical Idea 1. Introducing science or math vocabulary. In CLIL, you can introduce subject-specific vocabulary, such as the vocabulary related to the life cycle of plants during English lessons. This approach creates a dynamic learning experience that reinforces language skills. 2.2. Designing CLIL lessons and units. Effective CLIL lessons are structured, thematic, and thoughtfully designed to ensure that content and language integration occurs seamlessly. Practical Idea 2. Developing thematic units. Choose thematic units that seamlessly integrate subjects like social studies or science with language learning. This approach fosters a holistic understanding of both the content and the language. Step 1. Choose a theme. Select a theme, such as water cycle. Step 2. Develop integrated units. Create units that incorporate relevant vocabulary, sentence structures, and reading materials related to the chosen theme. In the case of the water cycle, this might involve exploring vocabulary related to precipitation, evaporation, and condensation while building language skills. 2.3. Examples of effective CLIL activities and materials. In CLIL instruction, a variety of resources can be used to engage primary students in content and language learning simultaneously. Practical Idea 3. Using real-world articles and interactive websites. Employ real-world articles or interactive websites that encourage students to apply both content and language skills in practical contexts. Step 1. Interactive geography. Use interactive maps to teach geography terms. This can involve exploring continents, countries, or geographical features. Step 2. Descriptive language. Require students to describe locations using full sentences, emphasizing correct tense and vocabulary usage. For instance, they can describe the climate, landmarks, or geographical characteristics of specific places. In summary, CLIL is a powerful educational approach that not only enhances subject knowledge, but also strengthens language proficiency. By integrating subject content with language instruction, educators can create a rich and immersive learning environment for primary students. This approach fosters holistic development by enabling students to acquire both subject-specific knowledge and language skills in a meaningful and engaging way. The practical ideas and examples provided demonstrate how CLIL can be effectively implemented in primary classrooms, offering an enriching educational experience. Now, examine the focus of CLIL and CBI, content-based instruction. 3. Authentic materials and real-world contexts. Let's dive deeper into the concept of incorporating authentic materials and real-world contexts in language learning for primary students. Authentic materials and real-world contexts are invaluable tools that enhance comprehension, engagement, and language retention. Here, we'll expand on the principles and provide additional examples for a comprehensive understanding. 3.1. Authentic materials and real-world contexts. Overview. The use of authentic materials such as menus, advertisements, and blogs in language learning provides primary students with real-world context and relevance. These materials offer contextual cues that improve comprehension and memory, making language learning both practical and engaging. Practical Idea 1. Incorporating children's magazines and websites. To introduce authentic materials, consider using children's magazines or websites in reading lessons. These materials are age-appropriate and can be a valuable resource for developing reading comprehension skills. 3.2. Creating real-world contexts in lesson planning. Real-world contexts can significantly enhance engagement and relevance in primary education. Practical Idea 2. Simulating a grocery shopping experience. Create a simulated grocery shopping experience where students need to read lists, make selections, and interact using English. This hands-on activity immerses students in real-world situations, fostering practical language use. Step 1. Create mock shopping lists. Develop shopping lists that include a variety of items with descriptions in English. Step 2. Set up a classroom store. Transform a section of your classroom into a mock grocery store, complete with items, price tags, and a cashier's desk. Step 3. Role play. Assign students roles as shoppers and cashiers. They must use English to communicate during the shopping experience, including reading labels, asking questions, and making purchases. Now, examine this criteria for selecting authentic materials for the EFL classroom. 3.3. Strategies for selecting and adapting authentic materials. It's essential to choose and adapt authentic materials that match the language proficiency levels of primary students. Practical Idea 3. Using Lexile measures for text. Selection. Utilize a Lexile measure or another readability formula to match texts to the ability levels of your students. This ensures that the materials are appropriately challenging but not overwhelming. Step 1. Select appropriate articles. Use the Lexile measure or another readability formula to determine the reading level of authentic materials. Select articles that align with the student's reading proficiency. Step 2. Differentiated tasks. Once you have selected the materials, create differentiated tasks based on the same article to cater to multiple levels of learners. For instance, you can design questions and activities that vary in complexity to meet the diverse needs of your students. In conclusion, incorporating authentic materials and real-world contexts into language learning for primary students is a pedagogically sound approach that fosters practical language skills and enhances engagement. These materials bring relevance and authenticity to the learning process, making language acquisition more meaningful and enjoyable for young learners. The practical ideas and examples provided here can be immediately applied in your classroom, enriching your students' language learning experience. Here are some key considerations on using authentic materials. Examine this criteria, thinking about whether your present materials meet the criteria. As we reach the conclusion of this insightful webinar, it is my hope that you are leaving with a treasure trove of actionable strategies and innovative approaches to enhance your English teaching practices in primary classrooms. From the focused alignment of backward design to the synergistic model of CLIL and the relevance of authentic materials and real-world contexts, each cornerstone principle offers a unique lens through which we can reevaluate and enrich our teaching methods. The world of education is ever-evolving, and as dedicated educators, we must evolve with it. Continuous professional development is more than just an obligation. It's an opportunity to become architects of impactful, long-lasting educational experiences for our students. The ideas presented today are intended not only to inform, but also to inspire you to take your pedagogical practice to the next level. But remember, the learning does not stop here. Education is a cyclical process of teaching, learning, reflecting, and adapting. Consider the strategies discussed today as starting points. The real innovation occurs when you apply and tailor these concepts to fit the unique needs and dynamics of your classroom. Thank you for investing your valuable time with us today. Remember, the best teacher is the best learner. Let's continue to learn, adapt, and thrive in our noble profession. Until next time, happy teaching. You can access the comprehensive PDF document associated with this presentation through the Learning Management System. Global CPD, continuing professional development for teachers and school leaders. Global CPD is an organization with a vision to provide relevant, effective, and innovative professional development for teachers and educational leaders in English medium school and university contexts. Global CPD offers professional development courses to teachers and administrators through a solid program of needs analysis by setting short, medium, and long-term goals for better quality education and provision of specialized training programs with follow-up support. To learn more about Global CPD work and services, contact us by email at admin@global-cpd.org or visit our website at www.global-cpd.org. Many of our services have online forms, which allow you to access services at any time that is convenient to you. Learning teachers lead the way.